I think we're live. Welcome back, everyone, to Devil's Advocate. Finally back on the weekly Armchair Sports Talk, talking all things Manchester United. I was about to say highs and lows, but really over the last sort of 5 weeks, it's been lows and lowers. So basically dissecting the last week of Man United news and sort of what's coming up. With me today, I'm joined by Rach, and I'm joined by Reese. How are you guys doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm okay. Man United aren't on this week, so they can't ruin my midweek.
True.
Which is always positive. I used to really look forward to watching Man United games in like last season, and I'm just not. So when I get to the end of the season, I just want everything to be better again. But I think we're a while away. What about you, Reece? How are you getting on?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. Just done a stream there with Keen. So now here for even more fun. And what can I say? Home is where the heart is, or was it? No, that's not right. That's not the phrase. This is the phrase. Home is where the show belongs. That's the phrase.
I agree.
So definitely. So we are back, as we said, over on the weekly Armchair Sports Talk. This is where we're going to stay. I don't believe we've got any more plans to move elsewhere. All things United are going to be discussed on this show and on this channel. So let's move on to what's been going on with Man United. And I think the biggest sort of talking point, maybe second biggest talking point over the last few days is the absence of Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, obviously, everyone expected him to be in the squad for the Manchester derby on Sunday. That didn't happen. Squads were sort of leaked, and around Saturday night, there was rumours and things that Ronaldo wasn't at the team hotel. He didn't travel with the squad. And then it came out shortly after the game through Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic that he actually wasn't in the country either. He reported himself not fit to play, or he was deemed not fit to play. That's sort of a grey area. And then he jetted off to Portugal for the Manchester derby rather than being in the country even. So I just really the only type of situation, like when I heard this story and the fact he wasn't, it's the only, this sort of thing only happens to Man United. Like it's just the sort of thing. It's like, oh yeah, that's Ronaldo's got to play. Oh, he's not there. Oh, he's really not there. Oh, brilliant. This is more drama. So I'm going to come to you first, Rach. What was your sort of initial reaction when you first saw he wasn't in the squad, and then when you found out that he wasn't even, that he had no interest in being a part of the day really, rather than just not playing?
It sucks. It definitely does suck, because obviously it's one of the biggest games in the calendar. You look out for it as soon as the fixtures are released at the start of the season. Like for us, it's one of the biggest games apart from Liverpool and Leeds. Those are the games that you really, really look out for. We needed to do some damage control from the first game where they beat us at Old Trafford, and we've had quite a good record at the Etihad the past kind of few seasons with Ollie especially, but it just all went to shit. And to think that one of our biggest players, if not the biggest player in the team, from a commercial standpoint, wasn't in the squad or wasn't fit enough to play is obviously gut-wrenching anyway. But to think that he had no interest in playing, especially as much as he say he loves the club so much and it means everything to him, I don't doubt that. I think he does love this club, absolutely. It's what catapulted his career. I think he does have love for the club, but I just think the state that the club's in at the minute, he's fallen out of love, which a lot of United fans have done. Not me personally, I'll always love them, but a lot of United supporters have fell out of love with football and the club in general. So I think he's just having a little bit of the blues, and I think he's thrown his toys out the pram in a sense and just said, well, fuck it, I'm not playing. If that is the truth, and he has just declared himself unfit, and he's just swanned off to Portugal without even thinking about the team or how we could have used him, then that's it. It's a bit of a kick in the teeth, but it's all hearsay until you really, really know what's happened.
Exactly. No, I agree with that. And in terms of obviously on about the Ronaldo loving the club, I remember when I first told my dad that he wasn't in the squad and he wasn't part of the day, and I told him the story and everything. My dad was like, Ronaldo might love the club, but there's nothing that Ronaldo loves more than himself. And that really, we might just have to come to terms with that he probably, and it wouldn't surprise me. I don't know if it would surprise anyone if he made the decision that he was told he wasn't starting, and then he just decided, well, I'm not going to play then. I mean, I don't know. It's really weird. What about yourself, Reece? What are your sort of initial reactions, especially on the fallout of the last few days? I thought there would be a lot more backlash towards Ronaldo. Does Ronaldo get away with it a little bit more than other players? Like certainly more than Cavani has done for multiple weeks. So what were your sort of thoughts over the last couple of days? Obviously, with a result in hindsight.
Just listening to the two of you, and I completely agree. Obviously, the result was a kick in the teeth. Like our record against Man City at the shit he had is superb, and we didn't even get a sniff. Like I think the closest we had to getting a point was Sancho's equaliser. After that, that was it. The minute the equaliser went in, it was either okay, are United actually going to do something, or are we going to get a repeat of Old Trafford? And it wasn't even a repeat of Old Trafford because it was even worse. But from what I've heard, Ronaldo had a hip flexor injury and he was recovering from it. This is what's came out. I don't know. As you've said there yourself, Greg, is it realistically an injury, or is it just that I had a feeling Fernandes was going to start through the middle on Friday? I think I said Fernandes was going to start, and obviously I was proven right. But I didn't expect Ronaldo to just check himself into his own country. Like I did not expect that. I think if that had been Martial, for example, even though he's in Sevilla on loan, for example, if that had been him, he would get it so much worse. If it had been Pogba, if he decided to fuck off back to Dubai to recover, he'd get it worse. And obviously Cavani's getting the brunt of it because obviously his professionalism's never been questioned. It is now because the past couple of months, Cavani, to say it nicely, is a prick. Like I absolutely love Edison Cavani, but the past couple of months I can only describe him as a prick because the way he's been, it's absolutely disgusting. Like if you're not fit, then fine, you recover. You do not go to you don't go to the boxing. Like that's taking the piss. Like that's taking the piss at your team and the fans as well who are paying to watch you. And I think you should have a little bit of respect. With Ronaldo though, the thing is, I don't think Ronaldo should get any leeway either.
No.
Like, yes, Ronaldo's won the Champions League with us. Yes, he's won the Ballon d'Or. He's won 3 league titles. That was then. That was the old United. We're not that United anymore. We're trying to get back to there. Ronaldo's still one of the greatest players of all time, greatest goal scorer ever. But that doesn't mean that you can just decide to get on a plane and go to another country. You show the respect the fans have given you all these years. You stay put, you recover, and then you put yourself ready. You don't, as Rach said, throw your toys out the pram. He's 37, not 4. Yeah. So I don't think he should get any leeway personally. I don't think he should. And I'm surprised not a lot's came out. I'm very surprised.
No, I agree. I do think Ronaldo does get away with it somewhat. I think as well, I think that maybe part of it he must have known. I mean, I feel like there was a general feeling amongst the fan base that I didn't think he was going to start on Sunday. I don't think he'd been deserving of a start. I think he's missed multiple opportunities that you would expect Ronaldo to even take some of. I think the way his attitude and running down the tunnel. Obviously, Rach, you go to games a lot more often than myself and Reece, so you would have seen that firsthand. Him sort of running down the tunnel instead of going over clapping fans, doing whatever. You know what I mean? Especially when we lose or we drop points. I think
that's one thing that fans really appreciate. Sorry to cut you off. That's one thing that we really, really appreciate because I stay until literally the final whistle. Even at Liverpool, like I spoke to you guys and I told you that I sat there until the final whistle, even though we were down 5. So, and for the players to come over and kind of like, it takes guts. It takes guts to come over, especially in front of the Stretford end where I sit, and to kind of, hold their hands up and clap the fans. But to see a player just not really bother with the fans, it does kind of make you feel like, well, what's the point? What's the point in buying your shirt sales? Like, what's the point in posting you on social media, like all that kind of stuff. Like, what is the point if you don't have the love for the fans? How can you expect that love from the fans back for you? So even when we've lost a massive loss, we still appreciate them coming over and at least kind of clapping the fans to say, look, you did a great job. I mean, that Liverpool game, we didn't let the Liverpool fans get heard one bit. I don't know whether you could hear it on the TV, but we were literally, for the last, I think it was 15 minutes, we were literally just chanting, and it was deafening in the Stretford end. It was brilliant. Even though we were fucking down, like, so bad to our biggest rivals, we're getting absolutely embarrassed, and we still just made it heard. And that's what it's all about. Obviously, the winning, the trophies, the glory, everything, but supporting your team and getting that acknowledgement back from the players that you are supporting just means everything. So,
no, I get that, and I think especially it has to come. Personally, I don't think Ronaldo's there without the fan backlash that he would have got for going to City. So I think if there's someone that's got to be more appreciative of the fans, if he really wanted to be at Man United, and like he said that he was never going to go and to Man City, nonsense. If Man United hadn't of moved,
he would be there.
He would be at Man City.
Absolutely.
And really, it was the backlash that he got on social media, his brand got on social media, Man United got on social media, because these things matter to people like Cristiano Ronaldo as your brand. So the backlash that he was getting over going to Manchester City, and that's the reason he's here. But also he's here to score goals, and just Keane alluded to it there in the comments, striker problem, which we absolutely do have. We're going to come on and talk about Marcus Rashford in a minute, but in terms of he who shall not be named is no longer here. Ronaldo doesn't want to play. Cavani, or didn't want to play on Sunday. You'd imagine be back in the starting lineup on Saturday against Spurs. Yeah. Cavani doesn't seem like he wants to play. Bruno's not a number 9. Like, Reece, I'll come you in. Where do Man United just sort of bait it for a striker? Or Keane said there, Charlie McNeil, does he come in? Because really, we don't have a number 9.
The reality is, I think I would honestly do exactly what Keane's done. If Ronaldo don't want to play, if Cavani has his eyes set on getting back into the Uruguay squad, he doesn't want to be in the Man United squad, then, well, that's all I'm going to say to him. Like, simply put, like, he can fuck off, because as far as I'm concerned, I don't care if you're Brazilian, Uruguayan, Scottish, English, Portuguese, it's club over country. I do not give a shit. You play for your club more in this calendar year than you play for your country. You only play for your country, maximum 4 to 6 games a year, unless you're in a tournament, depending on how far you go. In our case, 3 games and knocked out in the group stage. But that's the end of it. Like, it's club over country for me, and like, you've got to put your pride. If we had a manager that had, like, I'm not putting anything down the manager like Rangnick, but if this had been like, if Ronaldo was at Liverpool, for example, or if he was at Man City, Guardiola, Klopp, they would not tolerate bullshit like that. It'd be the same with Cavani. They would be telling him, you're either here or you're gone. I'll even put on like words to like, even though I slated him at the start of the season, Mikel Arteta, like for Arsenal, give him a little bit of credit. Aubameyang was taking the piss out of him, and they got rid of him. Like, that's the thing. Like, I think if you generally aren't committed to your club, then you shouldn't be given a chance. And Charlie McNeil's firing right now in the academy team. I would honestly just stick him in. Even if he did not score a single goal for the rest of the season, which would be horrible.
He would, though. He's a United player. He scored in his debut in front of you know what would happen. Like, he would.
You know he would, but even if he didn't score a goal between if he got promoted until the end of the season, I would still back him, because at least like a Langard, he would come in, he would actually get stuck in, he would actually do what he needs to do, he would know what he needs to be asked. I look at the rest of our senior squad, and I'm thinking, half of them don't even listen to the basic English, and half of them just choose not to listen in the first place. So, yeah. I would put them in. I put them in, because there's 2 strikers we've got over 30, and they're not bothering to do anything. That's really worrying.
No, exactly, and it is looking like both of them will be away come sort of the summer. So, who knows where we stand with that. I will say, I think over the last sort of 2.5, 3 years, I do think there's a lot of Man United players, especially in that senior squad, that are used to having an easy ride. And I'm not going to touch back on Ollie and sort of what I thought about him towards the end and stuff like that. But I do think that there's now a culture at Manchester United where of player power, and I don't think that's. I think everyone's probably aware of that. Pogba getting off to Dubai, not checking into strip that Carrington after his injury for France, things like that, and just assuming that would be okay and just getting away with it. I think there's a lot of players in that squad now that are used to that are now set in their ways. Like, this is how we do things, and it just isn't. It needs someone come in with a fresh look, someone that doesn't have this attitude of, oh, this is what it means, and oh, know what it means to be at this. No, it just needs elite top player, team management.
I said the other
pitch,
day,
team management off the pitch, everything like that.
Sorry, cutting you there, mate. I said it the other day. It was a podcast I was on, fun enough, involving just managerial talk, and they were asking me, who would you have? Like, obviously the usual suspects. I said the likes of Enrique, if it was possible, or Ten Hag. But then I went, the way these players have been taking the piss out of a man who's been in football for 40 odd years, in Ralph Rangnick, he's done everything as a coach and a director. My exact words were, "This lot deserve the Antichrist. This lot deserves somebody like Diego Simeone."
Oh, I thought you were going to say Steven Gerrard. It's like,
no, that's not the Antichrist. That's killing our club.
Yeah,
they need they need the Antichrist, and that is Diego Simeone, because he would.
I'd want him to come in and whip them all into shape
just for 6 weeks.
Smack every single one of them like bang, bang.
I would love it, because
you would incredible.
You would see who actually does want to be here and who actually does care, and you would see who's given a free ride, and half that squad would be crying, and I would clap.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. Moving on anyway to sort of, it links back to this sort of maybe like free rides and easy mentality and things like that. Rachel, come to you first on this one. We're talking about Marcus Rashford. Now, it's been reported over the last 2 or 3 days, sort of the fallout of the derby, that he was maybe assessing his options. His contract runs to the end of 2023, but there's an option of another year. I assume that's Man United's option. It doesn't work in basketball where the player can just sort of opt
player options.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be amazing. So Man United obviously have the option to extend his contract for another year. He's fallen out of favour under Rangnick. He fell out of favour really at the end of Ollie. I would say he's had his worst 18 months in professional football in terms of on the pitch. Not taking away anything of the stuff he does off the field. I think it's great. It's brilliant, and it's doing a lot of things that people that are paid to do that job don't do. So the fact he gets paid to be a footballer and he does these things as well is amazing. But I do think that time is ticking on Marcus Rashford. What are your sort of thoughts on the situation? Do you think he'll go? You think it's all talk? What do you think?
I don't think there's any chance in hell that Marcus Rashford's going anywhere, in my opinion. I just think there's all this speculation about him. And yes, he's been awful, really awful. But those injuries he was playing with, everything that he's done, you know, he's been through a lot in his personal life as well. And I just think there is a player in there. We saw the Marcus Rashford that really can be. And I still believe he is in there somewhere. I don't think it's going to be like Jesse, where he just completely falls off and he's nowhere near the shadow of the player that he used to be. I fully believe that Marcus Rashford will get back to his best. I just think he needs a permanent structure in place. So someone said this to me the other day, and no one's going to overperform for an interim manager. Does that make sense? So like when the new permanent manager, they all know that Rangnick's not going to be there at the end of the season. Let's be honest.
He's going to be upstairs making the decisions. Yeah. Do you know, it could be like, he's old as shit, get rid of him.
But he's not going to be the manager who makes, you know, the first team, you know, the starters, bench, all that. I just think once Rashford gets the permanent structure in place with the permanent manager, hopefully Ten Hag, fingers crossed, he can really start to adapt his game, because he's very adaptable. I fully believe that Marcus Rashford is very, very adaptable, but he's just not showing it at the minute because he's so in his own head that he can't seem to get out of it. He's in this slump of, you know, he's coming back from a major injury. He's expected to perform week in, week out. But I just think he needs time to really get back into the swing of things. So I believe he's going to come back. But then again, that's just me being positive.
Yeah, I was because I'm complete opposite, to be honest. But you'll know I imagine most people know my views on Rashford. I don't think personally he's good enough for Manchester United. I think he's the same player he was when he was 18. I think his decision making hasn't improved. So maybe his goals and assists and things like that have been like they've obviously had that breakout season during just after the project restart season. I can't remember what year that was in numbers. Was that 1920? 1920 was it?
2021.
No, that's 1920. Because Project Restart was 1920.
Because you had NHS Marshall.
So
1920.
So he had a breakout year that year. That maybe looked like he was turning the corner, but then since then, I just think he's dropped off a cliff. I think when he comes on, he doesn't know where he can be in terms of positionally. I think the person that we bought on the right winger is a better left-sided player than him. And now he's getting pushed out the squad by Anthony Elanga, who has just shown a bit of fight and a bit of desire. And I'm probably in the minority of Man United fans, but I wouldn't be sad to see him go. I don't think he's good enough for Man United at all. I think he's a very average Premier League footballer, but I think because he came through this Manchester United system, I think a lot of Man United fans are determined to hold on to him and determined that he will come good. And it just might not be the case. I'm not gonna. I wouldn't quite say what the comments are saying, but I am probably in the minority, but I just don't think he has a future at Man United, and I would much rather get rid this summer or next summer if we extend the contract and get something for him than lose him on a free. But not because I think he'd be like. I think I'd turn around and if he went for a free, be like, oh, that was such a waste of a Pogba situation. I think it would be better for the club to get money for him because he's young, because he's English. He's always going to have this hype. What about you, Reece? Where do you sit on that? Are you more Rachel's side of things? Do you think he's going to be the guy, or are you more my side of things? And if you're on the fence, I'm just going to kick you from the.
Well, that's a shame.
This is good. You've got like a devil on one shoulder and like an angel on the other. Just you sat in the middle. This is good.
Which side?
Exactly.
But the question is, which side is the devil and which side is the angel? I can get in trouble here.
Exactly.
I'm clearly the angel. Like, hello.
Just a bit sentimental for me.
All right,
Can you imagine what player he's going to be? Just quite like, can you imagine what player he's going to be when he's not fast? Like genuinely, can you imagine the quality of player we're going to have when he's not fast? We'll have Stuart Downing.
I was going to say the Michael Owen of Stoke. If you're really
John
harsh,
we'll have John O'Shea playing left midfield again. Okay, anyway, let's go for it.
I'm going to be completely Switzerland. I'm staying straight down the middle. In all honesty, I don't know when it comes to Rashford. I think you realistically have to look in the sense of he's 24 now. Past 2 years had 40 plus goal contributions for injuries. But I do agree with you in terms of like decision making and other aspects to his game. I don't see any real improvement. But I think as an impact player, if you actually I don't think he's good enough to be a starter anymore, personally. I think Elanga's already ahead of him. And I am standing by those words. I think Elanga's ahead of him.
Our Swedish prince.
Up the Swedes.
If he scores a hat-trick on Saturday, you will agree. So let's just...
I always agree. If you're Swedish, you're fine. Like everything Swedish is good. But going back to the circumstance of yours is a different type of liking Swedish. I just like the footballers.
Yeah.
I don't have the other view of the Swedes.
We won't talk about Lindelof's game on Sunday. The fact that he dropped that performance and there's more to
talk
about
on Sunday
is impressive.
Yeah,
I think he played on Sunday. I think that was an imposter. That was completely.
I think that was Maguire's Swedish cousin.
We played so bad, and he had that poor a game, but we played so badly, and there's so much drama around our club that he's not even a talking point. So let's just take that as a victory that we don't have to sit and sway Lindelof.
Lindelof FC can hide the shadows.
Bad game in he's had 5-6 solid games.
Oh, I think he's
been great.
That
was his one bad game.
I think he's very. That's the issue with Lindelof. Yeah. When he drops a bad game, he has an absolute stinker. He makes sure people know it's a bad game. Everything's wrong. And you compare it to how he played against Leeds. not into, but just like how dominant he was and stuff like that. It's completely opposite.
Yeah.
It's completely off the chain. But on contrast to that, back to the other Swede, the young Dynamo. He has completely usurped Marcus Rashford because you can tell from the way he comes on. Yes, Elanga doesn't have elite decision making, but he actually has got an idea of using his brain in situations where he actually wants to. He waits that extra second so he doesn't get caught on the offside trap, and then he goes. He waits for that second, like that killer ball that comes to him, and he knows he can get on the finish of it. That's why, like, obviously Bruno Fernandes being a donkey was offside. Elanga's goal would have counted in a previous game. Like, that just shows like he has it up here.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't afford to burn him out, though. But use him as much as we can because at least he's actually trying. He's putting in the work effort.
Yeah.
And it's hard
That's
to drop
exactly
a player
what I
in
don't
form.
want to happen. Sorry, that's exactly what I don't want to happen because it happened with he who shall not be named. When he first came in, he absolutely lit up the scene and just absolutely smashed it. And then the expectation was that high that when he dipped below that, everyone was on his back. And I don't want that same thing to happen to Elanga because we should bed them in, slowly. I mean, yes, we're saying that we should like throw in McNeil and, Garnacho, I think that's how you say his name.
Correct.
But we need to, roll them in quickly, like not as heavily as he who shall not be named.
Just remember, Argentina's going to be worse than Man United. Argentina's going to be worse than us because Argentina are going to put him in the first team. They've already called him up, so they're going to do it worse than us. So
yeah,
we can't be held responsible this time. But I know I do agree with you. But in terms of Rashford, I can see where Rich has come from, but there is a player in there. He does have some attributes that are useful to the game, like he has got a good finish on him if he stays on side. He has got pace. But the one thing is you can't teach a player to be smart. You can't teach them football intelligence. Like that is developed naturally. It comes to you. I don't know if he has it in him. If he has, then great. Show it and actually showcase it. But I think long term right now, unless you can make a full on decision, personally for me, Marcus Rashford should be used as an impact sub in the last 20 minutes max. I don't think he should be starting a game. I wouldn't even start him against Liverpool. I would still start Elanga when we get to that game. Whenever that comes around.
We've still got that again this season.
That's going to be final day of the season. But yeah. Anyway.
That's going to be another horror show. I hope we beat them just so we can make sure they don't win the league. But we won't beat them anyway. But we haven't won at Anfield. We haven't won against Liverpool in the league in 4 years. I'm hoping we do it this year. But I do think for Rashford, he has to be an impact sub, and then in the summer we'll see what happens. But if whoever the new manager is, if they don't want Rashford in the summer, the club have got to support that decision. You've got to sell him if the manager doesn't want him. You can't just turn against him because it's good for PR and all that crap.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Unless if people want to try and convince me otherwise that Marcus Rashford's worth keeping, tweet me.
I'm not even to convince you. That's not my job. I'm just saying. No, I think for now it has to be impact.
If people think they've genuinely got a really good argument, tweet me. Nothing abusive, but I'm genuinely because, like I said, I've just never. I thought he was an exceptional 18-year-old. Mm-hmm. I thought he was a very good 20-year-old. I thought he was I thought he was a good sort of 22-year-old, and I think he's an average, maybe below average, 24-year-old now. So yeah, who knows? We'll see what happens. I think we're all of the opinion though that he's not performing to sort of the levels that we expect, especially someone to start every week. And I do think there was a little bit of throwing the toys out the pram again. If he was saying that he did want to, if he was weighing up his options, it does sound like a bit of more of that player power culture coming in. It's like, well, I'll just threaten to leave. And then we'll see if he does that to a new manager. The new manager goes, okay. He's just fine, calls their bluff. I don't know. We'll see.
You just see it. You just see it. Like Rashford goes, "Oh, I want to leave. But I'm willing to stay under circumstances if you get me the right manager." New manager comes in. I heard you wanted to leave. Yes. I made that decision. Right. Okay. Richard Arnold, you're my boss. Sell him.
Sell him. Exactly. I've got to say a quick question in the comments. I'm really interested in this because we're having this debate in the chat on Saturday night, I believe. Do we prefer Aaron Wan-Bissaka or Dalot? And I think it's hard because they both have exceptional bits of their game, but both are not the full
can you just mix them together? Like,
Yeah,
I'll
can
take
have
Dallow's
Dalot-
Wan-Bissaka's defended and Dallow's crossing, and that's it.
Yeah,
I'll take
I still
Aaron
believe that
Wan-Bissaka.
Wan-Bissaka can be the player we thought he was going to be if he's coached. I do think he went over 2.5 years without really being coached how to play right back. And
I
just
like
sort of
the question.
fit in.
I like the question. Do you prefer Aaron Wan-Bissaka or Dalot? I prefer Ethan Laird.
Ethan Laird, he's not an option. Doesn't count
know.
to play for Swansea.
Unfortunately, he's at Bournemouth now.
Oh, even more. Doesn't count.
But even so, he has both in his locker. But in terms of out of Wan-Bissaka and Dalot, I do prefer Dalot personally.
For Dalot, I'd probably mix them together. I agree with Rach. If
I
we
like
could make
the
some
mix.
sort of like hybrid and fuse them, I think we'll be fine.
Gene splicing would be a good option.
Although I do think we will buy a right back in the summer.
Yeah,
I think we'll buy bloody everything in the summer. To be honest, I think anything
Ten
to
Hag.
get us away from bad PR. I think we could get a fair bit of money chucked at us in the summer.
Ten Hag comes in, he'll want that match right. He'll try and get him before Barcelona does.
The film,
Again.
yeah. No, I probably agree. I agree. Perfect. So, don't really. Apparently, there's a Swansea fan in the chat.
Yep.
Amazing. Perfect. Right. So looking forward to hopefully more happier times for Manchester United. Coming up on Saturday night. Is it Saturday night?
Yeah.
Saturday morning?
Saturday night, yeah.
Saturday
Half
night.
five.
5:30. Is it away, yeah?
Yes.
No, home.
No, we're at
home,
home.
home
No.
game. Yeah,
You
play home
should not
away.
be going to the game, Rich.
I know. They all blend into one. Honestly.
She's
I
I
just
just say to
check-
Andy in the
But I'll
morning, I'm
check
just
the-
like, are we at United today? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh.
In the morning? That's insane.
Yeah.
I suppose you live like not far
That's
away.
that's
For
when
me,
you
probably
know
quite-
when
Yeah.
our games have been. That's when you know when our games have been bad that a season ticket holder is mentally checked out.
It's just like, I'll go. It's a new
I'm
seat
still
on
there. I
Saturday.
still turn up every single week, but I'm just like, oh, do we play today? Oh, okay, so we're going. Okay.
She's
And he's like got his shoes on, and I'm like, oh, okay.
she's done a prison break. She's created like a petty crime just to get put in prison, just to not watch the match.
100%. Perfect. Yeah. So looking ahead to Saturday night, Rach will be there. As much as she isn't aware, apparently she will be there. Are we concerned about Spurs at
Yes.
all?
No.
I mean, I was pretty confident the last time we played them. I was pretty confident the loser was going to sign Antonio Conte, and that's what happened. I definitely was not in my drunken state willing us on to maybe not win the game, but that's fine. I think that even with Spurs' big win on Monday,
Yeah.
is that when they won?
Monday night, yeah.
I think Man United have got still a decent chance of beating Spurs. But I'm interested to see what you guys think. So come to you first, Rach. Why not? Are we going to beat Tottenham?
Yeah, of course we are.
Okay,
God's
how?
sake. Of course we are.
Why are we going to beat
How?
Tottenham? Why?
I just
How? Explain to me. How do you expect us to beat Spurs?
Yeah.
Because they're Spurs. In all honesty,
Because they're Spurs. I like that.
because they're Spurs. Like, no disrespect to Spurs fans. I know a few Spurs fans, nice people. But yeah, I don't know. I always feel confident going in against Spurs. I don't know why. And I just feel like if Ronaldo comes back, maybe he might start. No, I think we'll be fine.
You think we'll be fine? Reese, what about you?
to be honest, I honestly don't know what to expect because it's Tottenham. Like Tottenham are a special breed of can play well then be disappointing. Or am I describing Arsenal?
Or
But-
United, or
Yeah.
yeah.
But in circumstance, I do think though, like all United need to do realistically to beat Spurs is just keep their best player out of the game. So just stop Heung-min Son. Just stop Son, and then we've got a decent chance because everything goes for him. Like Kane's been fantastic for them since he started scoring goals. But for me, like Son is the difference. Keep him out of the game, then United have got a decent chance. But then again, it depends who plays up front for us, whether it be players that want to be there, players who are half-arsed, or we have to rely on a 19-year-old because senior pros just don't give a shit. So I don't know, but I do agree we can't afford to lose because they do have 2 games in hand.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think if we do lose fourth place, it's probably over, unless Chelsea get a points deduction for their money issues. But I very much doubt it. But yeah, I just don't know. I want to win so badly because I want top four, and I think the new manager needs top four just to have that extra thing to fight for. I think coming in as a new manager with a point to prove with the Champions League there as well, I think it gives you a little bit more. Certainly gives you a bit more bargaining power with
yeah.
the decision makers at Man United. I think. What about you, Rach? Do you think if we lose is fourth over, can we pull off another great fight for it, or do you think if we lose on Saturday, that's it?
I genuinely feel like because teams around us have got games in hand already, like on us already, I think top four is already over. I said a few weeks ago I was still positive that we were going to make top four, but since then, results and performances have just not been up to scratch. So I do think top four is already over, even if we lose on Saturday. I think it would take something catastrophic like Arsenal and Spurs to just spontaneously combust and just go to shit. I mean, it could still happen, but we do have to also think about the other teams as well that are still fighting for the top four as well as Arsenal and Spurs.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, Paul agrees with you. He says top four is gone.
I'll say this.
Not consistent enough for top four, which is probably fair, but it doesn't mean it wouldn't be nice.
I'll say this as well. If we don't get top four, I hope we do not finish in the top seven. I do not want Europa League, and I do not want Europa League, and I definitely do not want the Conference League.
I don't think I can go through and watch another Europa League campaign. Like I actually don't think my brain can handle it.
Because we'll probably get semi-finals, then lose on penalties.
I was going to say the music's class. To be fair, the music's brilliant. It's got a better. Does it have a better theme? That's the real question. Is the Europa League theme better than the Champions League theme?
Oh
yes.
no.
Yeah, definitely.
I am going to go. I'm going to go on a limb and say I actually think the Champions League theme. The Champions League theme's iconic. Yeah, I'll always stand by that. But the Europa League theme just has a good kick to it. Yeah, it's the only good thing about it's the only good thing about the tournament. It's a good theme song.
I agree. It's just play that throughout the whole game.
Have you seen that meme about the Barcelona fan who's sitting at his desk and he's got the Champions League theme on, and somebody walks in a Napoli shirt, and all you hear is the Europa League theme switch and go, "That's not for you, bro. That's not for you." I'm sitting there pissing myself going, Barcelona fans humbled for the first time in 20 years.
That's pretty good. To be fair, I think if we don't get top four, I think we probably will finish at fifth or sixth, and we will just have to deal with European football. I don't think we're bad enough to drop out the top seven. I generally don't think we are.
Me neither.
I think we certainly will try our best to make the fan. I think the players will try their best to make the fans think that we are. But I think eventually common sense and ability will kick in, and we will beat some teams.
Some of the squad doesn't deserve European for the way they've acted on like this season. A vast majority of them don't deserve it. I think
that's fair.
I think one player who definitely does deserve to be in the Champions League is Alanga, because he's actually shown what not just overall in terms of because he's turned up in Europe. De Gea possibly
he's been awesome.
But really just in the sense of like when Alanga's played, he treats every game like he's playing for United. Like he wants United to win. He's playing 110%, even if he's burnt to the ground. He's actually working on it to the point, and it's great to see.
You do need to take a day off, Reece. I'm not going to lie.
What do you mean take a day off? I've barely streamed today. That's a lie. 2 back-to-back shows is an effort. And technically third, actually. It's my third in a row because I did my YouTube stream earlier on this afternoon, so I've been free. I streamed for 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours, then 45 minutes, now 40 with you guys. I'm a machine. I'm a machine. I don't look at it. It's not over here. It's underneath. Like machines underneath.
So before we move on to start looking at the starting 11 predictions and the score predictions for Tottenham on Saturday, I want it was mentioned earlier in the comments, is Maguire versus Kane sort of the key for this game? Is it a case of that we need to just sort of hope that Kane has an off night against Maguire? Or because I got no doubt that Maguire's playing. Like, I don't think he'll be dropped again this season unless he's not fit. Like, I don't think Rangnick's in there to make these sorts of decisions.
Yeah.
He's there. He's not there to rip the squad up from the word go and sort of put a new captain in place and drop Maguire, regardless of what he thinks of them's ability of a footballer. He's also got to do damage control and the fact that they're going to be working together probably for the next 2 years. So I'm interested. What do you guys think we can do to prevent Kane absolutely destroying Maguire on Saturday? Rach, what do you
I
think?
think you just got to be physical with him.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely think, obviously not to the point of stupidity in your own, in penalty area, but, Maguire is a loose cannon. Sometimes he does make those rash decisions. But I think you've just got to be physical with him. You've got to make sure that your presence is known on Kane and he'll be fine. Like Keane says in the comments as well, Maguire does well against strikers like Kane. So,
Aye, no pace.
Except when we play Chris
I
Wood.
think he might go with a back three.
I would personally. I would go back three now till the end of the season.
Jeez.
But they say you only play a back three of centre backs if you don't trust your centre backs.
Do we trust our centre backs?
3 of them in there. No, and that's
Pretty
exactly
fair.
how you would do it.
Yeah.
Is you put a back 3 in because one of them's not good enough to be with another one, so you can't play the 2 because there's a weak link in there. So you have to add like another cushion, like Varane or Bailly or fucking Phil Jones if you want to pop him in there. See what he can do against Harry Kane.
Yeah, he's been on the bench every past 5-6 games, I think.
Amazing. Give him a game. That'll be fun.
So Phil Jones.
Will anyone get rested for the Atletico game? Andrew asks in the chat. Will they? No. Will they be looking forward to Atletico? When's it? Tuesday night, Atletico. So that gives them a few days rest from. Yeah, you're probably going to that one as well. I'm not going to lie.
I am.
You do remember that we do play in the Champions League still, for now.
Oh, we're going to win it.
That's fine because we don't get to. We'll just win the Champions League. It's all right.
Yeah, we'll do Chelsea.
I don't think he'll rest anyone for the Atletico game. I think Rangnick's whole way since he's come in is very much playing for the here and now and playing the best team available, and then whoever's not fit and whoever's fit on Tuesday, they'll sort of deal with it then.
It's typical United day. We drew with Watford, didn't we? We didn't score. It finished 0-0.
Yeah.
You don't have to remind us.
I watched that in a pub, and it just got progressively worse.
Yeah, it's typical United that we drew 0-0 with Watford, but Wolves are beating them 3-0 at Molyneux.
I hate
Chelsea are beating Norwich 2-0.
Just remember, why did we decide to do this show again? What was the? It's certainly not morale.
We're United fans trying to keep. We're like Obi-Wan Kenobis. We're trying to be We're trying to bring wisdom and be fair, but also, we're trying to bring some wisdom. We're wisdomous only on a Thursday.
Fair enough. Right, I'm going to come to you for your starting 11 predictions, and then we'll do score predictions. So, Reese, what's Man United's starting 11 going to be for Saturday?
12 men, 6 centre backs, 5 midfielders, and 1 goalkeeper and 4 forwards. Just to wind up, Rach. Let's see. I'm going De Gea and net.
Yeah.
I don't see Dallo coming back in, which is a bit of a shame. He was unfairly dropped, but I don't think he's going to get in. So Wan-Bissaka, shite heap beside Varane.
Is that Lindelof or Maguire? Sorry.
Maguire.
Oh, did you see that?
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't say anything like that, but Lindelof. At least Lindelof has some class. He doesn't get arrested in Greece. Left back. Let's see. Do I go bargain bucket or do I go Telles? Midfield. Greg's worst enemy. I'm going Matic.
Oh.
For 90 minutes.
Only 60.
Oh, that might be a bit much for him.
I'm only winding you up. Midfield. I think. Yeah, I would go Fred, Bruno, Pogba, and then up front, Sancho, the best winger at the club, Elanga, the demon, and if he wants to bother, Ronaldo up top.
Yeah.
1 second.
No, are you writing it down?
She's just a good 12.
I genuinely can't. Like, I can't rattle it off in my brain. I have to write it down.
I'm not going to share but you work with money.
So do I. That's why I have to be extra careful.
You can't think. Okay.
She's
while
planning.
you're-
Just remember, she's also planning her wedding. She's got to budget carefully. She has to budget 11 footballers on a piece of paper.
while Rach is counting to 11 on her fingers, she'll get to 10 before she realizes she doesn't have enough. Trevor said. Trevor said that you're a glutton for punishment going to Old Trafford on the regular. I think that's fair.
And Andrews just went in saying Rachel's playing Countdown.
100%. You're getting ripped apart here for not being able to 11, I'm not going to lie. Right,
I've
Rach,
got it on my
what's your
phone. I might
team?
just play the YouTube's. I might just play the countdown clock on my phone.
No, don't. You'll get us. You'll get us chucked off.
I know I won't do that to you.
Okay, so I'm going to go with De Gea in goal. I think he's going to go with the back three of Varane, Maguire, and Victor. I think he'll go with Wan-Bissaka and Tellez on the kind of, as like a back 5/3 situation. I think it'll be Frogba in the midfield, so Fred and Pogba. And then Bruno sitting in front of them, and then Ronaldo and Elanga.
Oh, I like that. I'd really like that team, but maybe I'd like Dallo at right back for Wan-Bissaka if we're playing a 5. But apart from that, I don't know. See, I don't think he will. I don't think he'll go back 5.
Give it Rachel to the end of the season. I'll sort it out.
You'd only be there half the time. You'd forget.
True.
Victoria's Secret says De Gea, Dalot, Varane, Lindelof, Shaw, McTominay, Fred, Pogba, Sancho, Bruno, Ronaldo. That's probably what I'm leaning towards as well. Maybe Tellez instead of Shaw. But yeah, I think it'll be McFred. I don't know. Will it be McTominay after these comments? Apparently, they didn't go down too well with the Man United dressing room.
They never do. Honesty never does. It's a fucking joke.
Yeah, true. I thought they were perfectly fine. I thought it was a really weird way he decided to scratch his nose, but apart from that, I thought it was perfectly fine. Yeah, just like say what you're trying to do it in school and not get caught. It's like,
yeah, who does that anyway?
Yeah, exactly. Keane reckons 3-5-2. Oh,
he's gone.
Reece clearly doesn't think 3-5-2.
No, he's fuming.
But he's fuming. Yeah, is yours is more like a 5-2-1-2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of,
but not really. Yeah, no, it is. It's pretty much 5-2-1-2. If you've got Bruno in behind Elanga and there we go, he's back.
My Wi-Fi decided to kick me off. My apologies.
No problem.
Oh, hot take. Maguire would be a better McTominay would be better captain than Maguire. Real contrast in the attitude.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
I completely agree.
In terms of attitude, but I still don't think either of them should be captain of Man United. I'd keep McTominay and Fred around for as long as they wanted to be there, because if you asked them to play in goal, they would. And at this point, I just want players that want to play, and there's 2 players that always want to. I feel like McTominay might start on Saturday. Jesus Christ, might start on Saturday. My one fear with Tottenham is how well Kulusevski has played, picking up that little half space, and if he's against Shaw, I just think he'll have a field day all day. I would much rather Tellez was in that. Keenan, what about Donny? I'm just glad Donny's been shown up to be absolutely woeful, so that's fine. Rachel's formation is 4-4-4.
12, dickhead.
Well done, nice. It's the fastest you've ever done that. Wow.
She's finally done it.
Yeah, she made it. Well done. Trevor reckons McTominay couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. No, probably not, but he'd run through brick walls for Man United, and it can't be said about any of our forward line, I don't think. And very few of our back line, and that's why I'd want players like that hanging around. I just think, as much as I don't want this attitude, like they know what it means and stuff, you need a little bit of that. You maybe don't need it in every single position, and the management and the board and the senior executives and everything else. But I think a little bit of it's fine. And having someone like McTominay, who didn't pull punches in his interview on Sunday, I thought he was very honest. And I wonder if there was just some players complaining about it that maybe didn't like Rich said, didn't like the truth. Which
truth's hard to handle.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
They were
So
shit.
let's
Truth hurts. Truth hurts
just
as well,
it.
doesn't it? Hurts as well, the
does.
truth.
Mhm.
So let's move on to the last bit of the show, the funnest bit, the most fun, most fun, I think it is. The predictions, score predictions. What are you going for, Reese? What do you think the score is going to be on Saturday?
I'm going 2-2 draw. I don't know if we've got if Maguire starts, we're not winning. If Maguire starts, we're not winning this game. I think we either scrape or draw, or Tottenham will kill us off. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I hope we win this, but like Kulusevski's been fantastic. Kane's hitting form, which pisses me off. Son is a dynamo, and Conte won't tolerate a cheap performance, to be honest, from Tottenham. So I think we really do need to turn up. If we don't turn up, we are getting battered.
Rach, what about you?
2-0 United.
2-0.
Clean sheet.
A clean sheet.
This is Manchester United, remember?
Do you want to predict we'll score from a corner as well? Just go for the
No,
jump.
all right, thanks.
Nah,
Done that once. Did it for the season. That'll do.
we
Yeah,
don't
just one.
we don't have a Katie Zellum in our men's team, so there's no point in us predicting scoring from corners.
Keane reckons 2-1 United. Positive. Andrew says 4-1 Spurs. I hope not. I can't have another 4-1.
Can't even have a 6-1. I hope that doesn't happen either.
2-1 with a Sancho winner. I'm thinking 3. I'm 3-1. I think Man United will beat them 3-1. I think we're good against. I think we're good when our backs are against the wall, and really that's time that's where Man United are just now. Our backs are against the wall. I think we'll find success in that midfield if Pogba plays. I don't think Spurs' midfield's versatile enough. I think they struggled last time against Pogba, especially in the second half. I wouldn't be surprised to see Cavani get minutes if he decides he fancies it this week, because he played so well, especially when he came on.
What a bold prediction!
Half. He was so good when he came on. Or did he even come? Yeah, it was. He was subbed on, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Last time when we beat them, and he scored the header.
Yeah.
I thought he was really good, and the way that Pogba, obviously, they work together. I wouldn't be surprised to see Pogba having a serious effect on the game on Sunday.
I certainly think he could. That was what I said bold prediction for. This.
Yeah, but it's because she's an Arsenal fan. So
I know she's an Arsenal. Even so,
she just wants to see Conte. She wants to watch the world burn, and the world starts with Spurs. Cavani is still at the boxing. He won't play. Probably not. No, he probably won't fancy it. But I'm going for 3-1. I'm going to try and be positive probably till, I don't know, 10 minutes in, and we've probably hit the post or something. Rach is going with 2-1. No, 2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
Clean sheet, baby.
Clean sheet. Okay. Okay. And Reese is going for 2-2.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
And Trevor, I am not having that agenda back on this channel again. I'm sick and tired of it. And I am not a supermodel. I'm 6'3". I'm not a supermodel.
That's tall, man.
You're shit. You're a whole foot taller than me.
You're a
foot.
though.
Yeah, but to be fair, I'm a whole foot taller. You're funnier.
Oh, that's very true.
Make up for it. It's fine.
Wow. Wow. I was being generous and I get that as a response. What is this?
It echoes what I was doesn't really echo. Predicted what I was going to say there. It is good to see everyone back in the comments. Loads of comments tonight. Nice to see everyone back involved on our way back onto this channel.
The real channel. Sorry, sorry, I was clearing my throat there. Sorry.
Perfect. So that'll wrap up today's Devil's Advocate. Yeah, that's exactly what the show's called. I've not spoken. No disrespect, I have not spoken about Man United in a long time. Like, you can watch me and Rach pretty much every week on this channel talking about basketball with Tim as well. That's my little plug. Watch that show. It's amazing. Even if you don't like basketball, we're just hilarious all the time. Yeah, it doesn't really matter if you don't know what's going on. We're just brilliant.
We can teach you.
Exactly. You'll learn so much. We're having a show soon about March Madness, which is college basketball. So me and Rach are basically just going to be learning alongside you. Because we know very little. So yeah, that'll be fun. So that's my little plug. Rach, you got anything you want to plug?
I want to plug the exact same thing. I think Dimes and Buckets, I think we're live. Is it tomorrow night?
Yes.
I hope so.
Friday tomorrow? Yeah.
Yes, Friday's tomorrow. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we're live tomorrow.
So we are live at 6 p.m. UK time tomorrow. Like Greg said, we're going to be talking a little bit about March Madness, but I think we're going to be talking about that more next week or the week after. We're also going to be talking about the Lakers and how shite they are. They lost to the Rockets last night, which was fantastic news.
Amazing.
Yeah, we're just going to be talking all things NBA. So even if you don't like NBA, even if you don't like basketball, just come along because clearly we're hilarious. So why would you not? Oh, God. No, it doesn't.
Quick plug before I come to you, Reese. Keen's plug in the Talk of the League pod exclusive interview with Wayne Barton on the Wayne Rooney book at 7 p.m. on Monday. So make sure you watch that. And Reese, what are you going to plug? You can only plug one thing, even though you do everything. So you can only plug one thing.
I do everything. Wow,
yeah,
that's...
well, you've got wrestling, Twitch, YouTube, football, whatever. Yeah, what are you going to plug? You can plug one thing this week. You get one a week. So what are you going to plug?
Wow, I feel like I'm in a committed relationship. I'm being told what to do. Okay. All right. One a week.
One a week. What are you plugging?
All right. You know what? I'm not going to plug my YouTube or my Twitch. I'm going to plug my wrestling podcast that I just did well over an hour ago, the Week of Steel Chair podcast, which is live every Thursday at 7 p.m. on the weekly Armchair Sports Talk.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for watching, guys. Again, thanks very much to everyone getting involved in the comments. We'll be back next week, I believe. Hopefully, Man United will have 3 points come Saturday. I'm sure if there's a clean sheet, I'm sure Rachel will be bragging about it on Twitter, as she always does. But thanks very much for watching.
Again. Never.
And we'll catch you later on.
See ya.
Bye.